Enable notifications by ringing the bell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here doing some more Dead Meat, and the Dead Meat we are doing today is Uncle Sam. And the reason we're doing Uncle Sam is because none of us really care to watch it because it's a shitty movie. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'll level with you all. I've seen this.
This Dead Meat or the movie?
No, the movie.
Ugh.
I've seen the movie.
Oh, you poor bastard.
And here's the kicker to it. I saw the movie when I was about, I'd say 10, 11 years old.
This is an old movie.
Yes, it is. What year?
Huh?
What year did it come out?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought
I just inferred from the fact that you were 10 years old that it was an old
full
movie.
Screen, it'll be right there. 1996. So yeah.
Okay.
This came on Showtime.
Ugh.
This came on Showtime Beyond.
Keep recording. I need to check something real quick.
Okay. While Ben is checking on something real quick. What? Uh-oh. Oh, they're decharging.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, they're not dead. If
I could not tell what was happening over there, and I got worried.
it's the old batteries. The old batteries, I'm decharging them so that
Discharging them for a full charge.
So
yeah,
so you can do a full charge on them.
Okay,
because I'm trying to see if that'll work.
Just checking. I couldn't see where the green was turning on, so it just looked like it was blinking red.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
I saw that too when I was sitting down. When I was standing up and I first put them in, I could see the green light.
Yeah.
And then I sat down, I'm like, what?
Red LEDs are real strong. Green, not so much.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Let that be lesson for you.
Lesson to you brought by the Renegades. Da, 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 da.
Anyway.
That'll be $5.
I mean...
Shut up, Ridley Scott. Okay, so...
Jokes from before recording.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we are going to do is we're going to watch this and see what good old James has got to say about
this real bad movie.
This really shitty movie. So...
Who thought this was a good idea? That's what I'm trying
obviously
to
the people who made it, because apparently it's the same vein as Stitch Face. Have you all ever seen Stitch Face?
No.
I was almost in that movie, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I wasn't. No, because these people were doing an audition, and they wanted me to play. They wanted me to play a jock boyfriend, because at the time I was playing football, and I was actually pretty stout. And they called me back for second auditions, and I read with the lead girl, and my character died within if I would have been in it, would have died within the first 15-20 minutes. And eventually they changed the name of it to instead of Stitch Face, it became Manson Kilmore, the night holler collar.
That's an awful name. Stitch Face was better.
To be fair, the genre of horror is ridden with bad ideas.
Shit. Yes.
Yeah. So things where you're just like, who thought this was a good idea? And it's like,
let's see here.
There's a whole lot of not attempting to actually play on people's fears, and a whole lot of just like, hey man, well, you know, it'd be real cool if Donald Trump was murdering people. That'd be real cool for a horror movie.
This is it. It's on Amazon.
No. The Night Caller
of Coal Miners Holler. I love it. I'm glad.
Nate,
yes.
There's a part 2.
I know. I'm seeing it too.
There's always a part 2. That's the other thing with horror movies. Nobody ever comes up with a new idea after they make the first one, when they could make a second one and have them kill more people in more ways.
Oh, this was a very close-knit kind of crew.
By the way,
Yes,
I sound like I'm dissing on the horror genre, but it's my favorite genre.
Okay.
I wish there were more good ones.
He just has a lot of opinions.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
You must be able to critique the things you love.
Yeah.
You must be able to, because blindly following means that you're not actually learning anything from it.
It just means you're a sheep.
There's
the
a
people
real
in the
life
comments
lesson
are currently
from the
critiquing us because we've had the video on the screen for 5 minutes and haven't clicked play.
Oh, Whoop-dee shit.
Who cares?
Let's do the thing.
Let's do it.
Movie footage used in the kill count is owned entirely by the copyright holders.
Yep.
Dead Meat makes no claim of ownership and simply uses the footage for purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support filmmakers and the art
I wonder
of
if,
filmmaking by watching Uncle Sam in its entirety.
I wonder if that
on home
actually
media or
works
streaming
for him.
services where available.
So I think you should put something like that at the beginning of ours.
Probably.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
probably should.
Welcome
thought
to the
he'd
Kill
mentioned
Count,
that
where
to you.
challenge
It's
where
fair
it comes in
use.
all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and yes, I'm wearing this shirt for a third kill count because today we're looking at Uncle Sam, released in 1996 or 1997. The internet doesn't seem to know. If you're like me, you
Or
probably
care.
expected a movie with a murderous Uncle Sam to be a mindless slasher with a perfunctory pro-America message behind it. But Uncle Sam is not that. The script, written by Larry Cohen of the It's Alive and Maniac Cop series, tries to deliver
Maniac
a message about
Cop?
the difference between
Yes.
being a
Man.
good soldier and being a good
Hey,
killer.
Isaac
But it
Hayes, I
gets
forgot
bogged
he was
down
in
an
this.
effort to touch on pretty much everything else related to the military too. Corrupt officers, PTSD, the morality of draft dodging, you name it, it's here. Then shit gets really weird, and before you know it, you've got Isaac Hayes and a telepathic blind kid shooting cannonballs at a zombie soldier. But let's back up a bit, because before that
Yes.
thrilling conclusion, there are a
It
fair
gets that
number of kills to
ridiculous.
see. So let's get to them.
Okay.
What?
It gets ridiculous.
The movie begins in Kuwait, a country we used to fight in. It was like 10 countries ago. There's been a helicopter accident
Yeah.
in the desert, so this major with a Saddamish mustache shows up to direct the situation with a voice that sounds part Panzer tank.
Get in that helicopter. See if you can ID anybody by their tags.
Sergeant Sillyface takes a look at the crash and
Jesus.
finds two
Is
dead
that
bodies
Lemmy?
in there that we can go ahead and kick
Oh,
off our
Lem-
count
oh,
with.
he
Apparently,
wishes
this
he could be
chopper was
Lemmy.
shot down
Yeah.
like friendly fire. And even though the major's all like, hey, shit happens, that's not good enough for
I'd
Master
say
Sergeant
Lenny
Sam
Light.
Harper, whose body they find in the front seat of the chopper. Because Sam opens his eyes, reaches out, and twists the other sergeant's head around in an excellent lightning strike kill to keep the count going. Sam takes the sergeant's firearm and shoots through the guy's body to hit the major at least twice, maybe more, in a very subordinate kill. Someone's looking to get court-martialed, but Sam don't care. He's full of spite about the accident.
Don't be afraid. It's only friendly fire.
And then he dies? Question mark? I mean, he does, but he'll be back as a zombie. But still, let's throw him on the count anyway. Keep that shit going. Cue the title card.
Yeah?
Hell yeah, these opening credits. I love patriotic imagery backed by John Philip Sousa. Seriously though, this old footage of Times Square and other historical stuff is actually pretty cool. Plus, I like Ike. Then we jump to the town of Twin Rivers in the state of USA. Looks like America's birthday is only 3 days away, and I still don't know what to get it. This little wienery kid Jody jostles around in bed for a while before he knocks over a framed picture of his Uncle Sam Harper, the murderous chap from the chopper. Jody steps on the broken glass and cuts his foot, and
Damn
that does something to Sam's corpse? There's some weird Stephen King-like magic going on in this movie. Just wait till we get to Barry. While Jody gets his
Don't you
foot
dare
patched up
insult
from his
Stephen
mom
King
Sally,
like that.
he tells her he dreamt about his Uncle Sam, and judging by the kid's infatuation with the guy, it was probably a wet one. Meanwhile, Sam's wife Louise gets home from a date with Deputy Phil, since Sam's been gone for 3 years and she assumes he must be dead at this point. At least as dead as the romance in this car. Sorry, Deputy, she's exercising her right to leave you with some blue balls. Waiting on her porch is creepy Sergeant Twining, played by Bo Hopkins, who tells her that her husband is dead and that he'll stay in town long enough to help with all the funeral arrangements. The next morning, after Jody drools all into his bowl of cereal, Louise tells Sally about her visit from Sergeant Twining. They both seem to have a complicated reaction to the news, bordering on relief, because it sounds like Sam was a real asshole who had them both terrified of him. Maybe he just wanted to terrorize one of them, but couldn't tell them apart. I know I'm having a hard time here. Jody,
Ugh.
meanwhile,
Oh,
still
they're
thinks his
sisters.
uncle is a hero, and is such a Sam fan that in school later that day, he just forces a goddamn show and tell session with all of Sam's medals. It makes his teacher, Mr. Crandall, a little uncomfortable. Probably because he was a Vietnam protester who left the country rather than fight what he thought was an unjust war.
It was a very difficult thing to do, Jody. Those who left the country felt it was a lesser evil, and blindly following orders they knew were wrong.
Jody and his camo pants think that sounds like Pinko talk, and he swears to himself that he's gonna grow up and join the army.
And I'll do whatever the president says to do, because he knows better.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's chain of command. It just sounds a little scary when you hear it like that. He refuses
Yeah.
to join the service to Sergeant Twining when he gets home, where his Uncle Sam's body has been delivered for, funeral
What?
stuff.
No.
On his way out, Twining takes the opportunity to get just a tad too handsy with Sally, and later that night, in his Apocalypse Now-themed hotel room, we hear him on the phone confirming that he's a nasty boy.
I aim on getting a little piece of that action before I leave here.
Shit, he even says that the main reason he took this job is so he could get a bunch of widow trim. Dude's a total sleazebag. Unlike the other sergeant in town, local Jed Crowley, who's played by Isaac Hayes and is introduced with the best first line ever.
Too many rolls and jelly donuts.
Whereas Twining is suffering from creeperitis,
that's a good
Jed's
line.
got a legit case of survivor's guilt, since he was the only one from his squad to make it home alive.
God, how come it was me you let come home?
Sally has her beau Ralph over for dinner and lack of kisses. Ralph's also depicted as a Steve since he's a lawyer celebrating a recent courtroom victory wherein he defended some tax shelters.
You mean you cheated them?
I'm just smarter than they are, Jody. That's all.
This may be the only movie I've ever seen with the message of, hey, make sure you pay the IRS your fair share. That night, Jody wears an amazing fucking dinosaur shirt. That's all I wanted to say.
That's a cool
I don't
shirt.
need to talk about the scene. But I did need to mention that dinosaur shirt. The next day, Jed comes over to the closed casket wake and apologizes for encouraging Sam to join the army. He strikes up a convo with Jody about his wooden leg that he got after a landmine messed him up in Korea, but assures the little kid that, hey, don't worry, the dick still work, aight?
All those other parts made it back just fine.
Jody mentions that he wants to join the service, and Jed fucking loses it, yelling about how things ain't like the old Nazi fighting days.
When we knew who and what we were fighting for?
Jody claps back with a patriotic fervor, arguing that everyone's gotta die someday, and the army needs people to fight, so fuck it, you know? Jed's like, shit, kid, you're a real piece of work. And they talk about how heroism doesn't just mean killing people. That night, when the clock strikes 4th of July o'clock, Slimy Sam awakens inside his coffin, apparently summoned by this trio of teens who are just checking everything off on the list of ways to be offensive. Let's see, you got a spray-painted swastika, a celebration of the Texas v. Johnson decision, and some pretty straightforward gravesite desecration. It's enough to get Sam up and running to defend America's honor, but not before sneaking into Jody's room and grabbing all of his medals to pin to his burnt leathery flesh. Wouldn't want to be walking around looking like a fresh recruit zombie soldier, you know? His medals leave him looking much more respectable than this peeping Sam, some perv named Willie who's using his stilt legs to deliver the movie's requisite gratuitous nudity. After this unlikely act of voyeurism, Willie makes a second-story getaway until he winds up in a park being stalked down by Master Sergeant Sam Harper. Willie ends up running into a tree and falling onto his back, where he doesn't even try to put up a fight or move as Sam comes after him with a pair of garden shears.
No.
I hope you got an eyeful.
The death happens off screen, as does the corpse looting, since Sam steals Willie's clothes and uses the bloody shears to make some alterations. His newly tailored attire provides a snazzy outfit to wear to the cemetery, where one of those vandals is straggling back from his friends to take a piss. Sam literally pops up to spray the kid Rick in the face, getting him so mad he can only see red. Rick passes out and wakes up inside Sam's open grave, covered in red, white, and blue paint, and also suffering from a compound fracture in his leg. In a very patient kill, Sam buries Rick to death by shoveling dirt on it, slowly but sedulously, until nothing but his hand is above ground. He finishes the kill with another weird one-liner.
Good night.
One of Rick's friends, some guy named Cleet, is that a typo? Comes back to see why Rick's lizard draining is taking
Where's the
so long,
us?
and fails to notice Sam with his passive perception. So he winds up with a flagpole helmet around
Passive
his neck,
perception.
which, yes, is a term
That's
I
a
learned
D&D
right
joke.
Because learning is fun. Sam feels a bit naughty, so he runs Cleet up the flagpole and sees, who salutes, but no one ever does. Instead, Cleet's neck breaks and he goes on the kill count. I guess Sam thought it was a sin for him to live so well. The next day, it's time for the 4th of July parade, and Mr. Crandall's flustered that his very sassy George Washington can't find his hatchet. When he goes back into the classroom to get it, he finds it, lodged right in his fucking forehead.
Jesus!
courtesy of Master Sergeant Sam Harper. Try dodging
Why would you
that,
give him a
goddamn
real
hippie.
hatchet?
Jed kicks off the festivities with a real live cannon, which, like, where did that cannonball go? The subsequent parade is a real
It's probably
small
just a
town
loaded,
celebration.
loaded
Local
shot.
pageantry and
No
Earth
actual
anti-arson
cannonball
activists.
in there.
Halloween's PJ Soul
I see
pops
the old
into the
lady
movie
that
as
lives,
Matt
like,
Cronin, alongside
across
her
the
husband
street,
Matt, who's
like,
played by Tom McFadden.
a ways,
Lisa's dad in
you know,
Nightmare
just
2. Their son Barry was
bust
blinded
through her
at last
window
year's
while she's making
celebration due to a
breakfast.
fireworks
Like,
mishap,
oh,
and Mama Corbin is
mercy.
looking
God,
back
I hate the 4th of
totally
July.
guilty.
Wait, whoa.
Cheer up,
Okay.
Barry. At least you get to listen to this goofy band, the Abe Lincoln Story. Jesse, the third 90s fuckboy from the cemetery, steps on stage
So
to help kick off the
he was
evening with a
blinded at
rendition
last
of
year's
Star Spangled
celebration.
Banner, but after
So
a
you're gonna
promising start, he
drag
winds
him
up
to this
Rosanning
one?
the whole
No.
It
band.
makes no sense.
Thank you, Hendrix.
He finishes
That's
off
what
his
happens to
performance
people who
with a
don't
half
practice
moon,
metal
which
vocals
pisses
trying to do
off
metal
Uncle Sam.
vocals.
Maybe he'd respect you more if you went full bare ass. How many times we gotta tell you, Jesse? No half measures. While the mayor recovers with a proper recital of the anthem, Barry gets his face felt on by Uncle Sam. Some weird kind of connection forms between them, and honestly, Uncle Sam, there's not enough movie left to start doing shit like this.
You know me.
I don't think I do anymore. While Uncle Sam wanders through the crowd, glad handing all the good little patriots, local Congressman Alvin Cummings, played by Robert Forster, shows up in an effort to rehabilitate his image after a recent financial scandal. Maybe he was using taxpayer funds to bail out attractive flight attendants caught smuggling drugs. Or maybe he's just there for these Flintstone-sized dinosaur ribs that this barbecue chick is hacking up with true culinary finesse. After she sneaks off to smoke a dude,
And that
he comes
country
back to
time.
cook some more ribs on weed, only to find her cleaver missing. That can't be
country
good news
time
for these saucy
lemonade
little studs who are
product
starting a
placement.
potato sack race. It's an extended
Delicious.
sequence with a bland rock backing, and during it, Jesse really puts the sack in sack race by running around ground and knocking into all the other competitors. Holy shit, he even kicks them while they're down? What a little turd weasel. Thankfully, he gets his comeuppance after tripping down a hill and taking a serious no-hands tumble. On his way through a lemon grove to get
I
back
appreciate
to the race,
exactly
he
how
runs into Sam,
naughty
who
that
apparently
dude's
also
haircut
has
is.
the ability to teleport. No, seriously, check it out. This is some Jason Takes Manhattan level teleportation.
He
Bam!
was not
After
moving.
appearing right in front of Jesse, he takes the stolen cleaver and frickin' hacks the dude's head off. Hell yeah, mat all that 90s hair up with blood. I guess despite all his cheating, Jesse won't be getting ahead in that race after all. After spying on his wife, widow, unwidow, Sam steals a rifle from a carnival game and apparently uses it to murder Ralph, who Sally finds sitting atop a parade float taking his Abe Lincoln role just a bit too seriously. Motherfuckers. Deputy Phil checks out the body while Sally noms on popcorn and Jody talks shit about the dead, saying he wasn't even a patriot and deserved what he got. At dusk, in a random barn, Jody's family gets into another conversation about the late Uncle Sam when the women express concern about how much the young boy idolizes him. Louise tells Jody that Sam abused her so much she was in fear for her life. And despite Jody's initial reluctance to square away this cognitive dissonance, he comes around after his mom lays down this heavy shit.
I know it's an awful thing to say, but I was so happy the day that he got married and moved out of the house, because then he'd have another victim instead of me.
Whew, damn, man, this movie gets strangely deep in between all the sack races and barbecuing. Speaking of barbecues, the grill girl is our next victim after she opens up her meat smoker to find Jesse's head getting cooked well done. She's killed off screen when Sam grabs her and makes her head join Jesse's on the grill. The mayor takes after his Amity Island idol and encourages folks to just carry on with their 4th of July festivities despite the recent deaths. He goes to introduce the fireworks, only for the spotlight to fall on Congressman Cummings, strapped against some wooden lattices with a handful of sparklers sticking out of his suit. At the fireworks control panel is Uncle Sam, who starts flipping switches and lighting these bad boys off. The crowd has a weirdly uneven reaction to the sight until Sam hits the final switch and kills off Cummings for good with a giant explosion. That finally gets them concerned. The blast ends up blowing Deputy
That type of
Phil
switch is one of my
backwards down a hill,
favorites.
at the bottom of which Sam is waiting for him with the stars and stripes. Not the stars and bars. That's the Confederate flag. And I'm real sorry for making that mistake. And
Actually, James, I hate to do a little bit of a... it's not the stars and bars. But first off, it's a cross. Stars and cross. That's...
Anyway.
The original Confederate flag, the Confederate flag is called the Stars and Bars, whereas it was the Stars and Cross. Sorry.
Anyway.
Little bit of a history.
I was about to say he's a history buff.
Straight onto the flagpole and gets impaled through the back for a pretty solid and decently gory kill. Even had some guts coming out there. Not bad, Uncle Sam. After Barry's parents run out of the movie, he tells Jody not to worry about the killer running around because somehow, through the power of touch or whatever, he knows that it's Jody's Uncle Sam.
My Uncle Sam? But he's dead. I never said he wasn't.
This movie's something else, man. Jed finds the kids and tries to usher them out of this war zone, and that's when they tell him their theory that the killer is Jody's undead uncle. Jed doesn't like it.
I'm too old for this crap. Cut it out!
But after they go
Hey,
back
come
to
on,
Jody's
it's an
house,
R-rated
they double
movie.
check
Go
the
all
casket
in.
and find
I mean,
some supporting
to be
evidence
fair.
for the theory when, instead of Sam, the body inside is creepy Sergeant Twining, dead of what looks to be a slit throat. Damn, was hoping for something more on screen for this creeper, but what are you gonna do? Now that Jed is on board with the whole undead soldier theory, he and the kids head to Louise's house where they find her striking a real nice Norman Bates pose. After she calms down, Jed upgrades her weapon to a ranged attack and goes to use her
Yay! More D&D references!
Before he's outright confronted by the burnt up undead Sam Harper, who blames Jed for his current condition. Jed
Okay,
says
that
no
was
at
actually a really cool
Sam just
shot
killed
through the
for
mask.
sake
Yeah,
of
the
killing
eyes
instead
on
of for
this.
the sake of his country. He tells him to go on and get, but Sam responds by throwing Jed through the living room partition in yet another solid stunt. That's maybe the best thing this movie has going for it. After Sam
Good
walks
stunt
into the
work,
living
I
room
will
and takes
admit.
a few shots from Louise, she and Jed run off to go get the town cannon while Jody stays behind to fake sympathy for Sam. Jed quickly hitches the cannon to his Made in America Ford truck and brings it back to Louise's house where, what, Barry was just chilling by himself on the sidewalk this whole time? What the fuck, adults? Sam tells Jody that he's back from the dead to recruit the little lad for, I don't know, zombie soldier shit, I guess. But in order to join him, Jody will have to be dead first.
Are you volunteering?
Jody knows that volunteer work looks great on college applications, so he takes Sam's hand and goes to step outside onto the porch with it. It's all part of a ruse, but Jody still chooses some very weird phrasing for his fake proclamations.
Can you all see us? We belong together.
At Barry's precocious insistence, Jed lights the cannon fuse and Jody gets the hell out of the way. The cannon lands right in front of Sam with a huge fiery explosion that knocks Jody down. But of course, it doesn't actually finish off Uncle Sam. Here he comes out of the flames in a pretty good fire stunt that features one of those creepy-looking fire suit masks. But everyone knows that Chef has 2 balls, so Jed loads another one into the cannon to put an end to this.
Salty chocolate balls!
Fires a second cannonball that
BAM! In your face.
On Uncle Sam, sending him flying back into the house, which inexplicably friggin' explodes. Yo, what was Louise doing in that house of hers? Cooking up a whole bunch of meth? Whatever, bro.
She left the gas on.
All I know is that Barry is fucking pumped about it.
All right.
The movie ends with Jody burning all of his war toys, because, like, fuck the ozone layer, before turning back towards the camera in a very unnecessary slow-motion shot that turns into an even more unnecessary shattering glass effect. Who was making these decisions? Can this mess of a movie be salvaged by a decent body count? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, whew, that was loud.
Yeah. They're louder than you think.
Yes.
16 people died in Uncle Sam, including Uncle Sam himself twice. The victims consisted of 15 guys and only a single girl, giving us a pie chart that's even more imbalanced than usual. With a runtime of 89 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average about every 5.5 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for
5.56.
Phil Burke. There were a couple other contenders, but Phil wins out because he was killed with an American flag. It just feels like my duty to give it to him. Dull machete for lamest kill goes to Ralph, whose body is discovered with a pinpoint-sized fake bullet wound in the side of his head. Yo, Lincoln got shot in the back of the head, movie. And that's it. Uncle Sam came out in 1996 and was directed by William Lustig, who also directed those Maniac Cop movies, as well as the earlier film Maniac. I hope you all have a happy 4th of July, and I'll be back on Friday with a brand new franchise. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Hey, thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank a couple of patrons like Sam Ghazi and Aaron Mounts. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope you celebrate it safely. On Friday, we start a brand new Kill Count series that will go on for 4 weeks. After that is another small series that will last 3 weeks, and then it will be August 24th, which is Halloween time. I mean, Halloween like Kill Count time. It won't actually be the Halloween holiday. That's October 31st.
But it should.
All right, y'all, be good people.
Damn.
Man.
So I'm definitely glad that we watched that instead of me actually trying to watch that movie at some point.
That seems strong.
Because that looked real dumb.
It is dumb. It is supremely dumb.
Man.
That's one thing about that movie. Even as a kid, I was just like, this is friggin' stupid. This is so dumb. And like the one part I saw that really just made me as a kid go, was the potato sack race.
Really?
And the music. Like, no, well, because here's the thing. I wasn't fully, because I didn't see the opening part. I didn't see the part where, you had Lemmy, Light, Major Lemmy Light, trying to, take hold of the situation with the helicopter, and thus Sam twisting that one soldier's head around. But honestly, I thought, a supernatural being, possessed, by like this American exceptionalism ideal. I thought, you know what, it's not bad. But then all of a sudden the potato sack race and then the teleportation, and I'm just like, okay. So, and as a matter of fact, I changed the channel a little bit, and for like 10 minutes, and I was just like, let's just see how it ends. I've already committed a lot to it. And then by the time I got back, it was the whole speech in the barn, and I was just like, damn, Uncle Sam was a freak. And it's a whole thing, and I just did not, I was just like, I did not like that movie. But James mentioned the stunt work and everything, and it's just like, yeah, good stunt work. I mean, a no hand guarded fall down a hill. I mean, for most people, that's like, for most stunt people, that's a huge risk, because if you don't have your hands to safeguard your fall a little bit, you can do some serious damage. And also having Isaac Hayes as like the one to do all the killing, or the one that did all the work at the end of the movie. It's just like, it's like I can just hear it. I can hear him actually like singing a song too. That it's like who's the slick brother with the cannonball that kills American exceptionalism? Hayes, Isaac Hayes.
You're
damn right. But because I remember hearing him on South Park, and then what? Actually, South Park came after this. That's the strange thing. South Park was like a year later after this movie came out. But by the time South Park was the first season of South Park was out, I was already watching it, and then I saw Isaac Hayes in this, and I'm just like, wow, it's Chef. So yeah, Chef effectively killed Uncle Sam. So like, yeah.
I was trying to remember if. So I'm fairly certain that, in a helicopter crash where the body has been heavily burnt, as it would seem to indicate in the opening.
Yes.
He probably wouldn't be able to move enough to actually snap the guy's neck. I mean, suspension of disbelief, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, huh. That was because snapping a guy's neck is not that easy.
No, there's a lot of muscle, bone, tendons. I mean, there's a lot to go through.
It's a surprising amount of force. I know.
Yes.
I've tried.
I know he hasn't tried with me because...
Are you so sure?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. This kind of movie should be, at the very least, a horror comedy movie, you would think. And it just...
I think so, too.
It's bothering me at how serious it looked like these movie creators were taking themselves while making this.
Yeah, because this is the sort of movie where you have to go into it knowing that this is really stupid.
Yeah.
And you have to play it like it's really stupid.
And it didn't look like that's the mentality that they went at it with at all, and it's just bothering me. I was just like, why did they make this?
Well...
Why did they think it was a good idea?
Well, I will say this.
Even in the 90s. I mean, come on.
Well, I will say this. One thing about...
crazy things happened in the 90s.
One thing about movies nowadays, especially horror movies nowadays, there's some horror movies that do take it seriously, and they're pretty effective. But then there's some horror movies that take a semi-nonchalant approach to the film and actually have a semi-comedic edge to it. For instance, You're Next, which I've seen, that was a movie that was made on very little money, like extremely small amount of money, and did spectacularly well because it blended a little bit of comedy and a little bit of dark humor in to the overall story. Happy Death Day, yet again, some people actually consider it more comedy than horror.
Oh yeah, it's way more comedy than horror.
Yeah, and then what was the other one I was thinking about? Damn. Okay. For instance, one that nowadays people take super serious is the Unfriended movies, which I've seen both of them. I like both of them. I think both of them are very well executed. I think and it was a concept I thought was completely going to be tired of within like 15 to 20 minutes of watching it, and I was going to get bored with the movie, but I didn't. Both films actually work really well, and they both tell different stories. They're not like they don't suffer from sequel syndrome where it has to be a continuation of the original story.
Ugh.
Instead, they tell a completely different story, but yet they tie it in a different way that's just like, wow, I never considered that. And I don't want to give it away because that's actually one that I want you all to watch, because Nick, you said yourself that you thought Unfriended was going to be absolutely friggin' stupid.
Oh yeah, like I was bored of the concept from the second I saw it in the previews. I was just like, no.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing too. I thought this was going to be stupid, and then I saw it actually had some pretty decent reviews, and I watched it, and I'm like, this could actually, with a little bit better direction, this could have actually been something more. This could have been something a lot better. But for what it was worth and for what they made it on, they made it for like on a shoestring budget of $1 million, which I know to a lot of people out there, $1 million sounds like a lot of money.
God, I'd kill for that kind of shoestring budget.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of shoestrings.
But when you consider how much like movies nowadays are being made for, with the Avengers movie taking I think $250 million to make. With
a lot of cash.
Yeah, so honestly, if I was given $1 million to make a horror film, I would do something. I'd try and do something that people haven't seen before. I'd try and do something that people wouldn't know what to think of it. And as a matter of fact, looking at the concept, may in fact hate it and will be surprised on how good it is. I mean,
see, the problem that you run into is when you start trying to come up with horror concepts that people have never seen before, then you end up, if your execution isn't spot on, and it's very easy not to be spot on, you end up with Uncle Sam.
Well, Uncle Sam, yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
You know, I applaud them for trying something new. That was great.
Yeah.
Execution? But they tried a new concept. It's like, oh hey, how do we make this work? Zombie soldier comes back and kills a bunch of people for not being patriotic?
Okay.
I mean, I've heard worse concepts.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that the execution of this was terrible.
Yeah, but
with exception of the stunt work. The stunt work was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, also, you know, a lot of the execution, you can give them a lot for actually getting Isaac Hayes.
Oh yeah, I give massive credit for getting Isaac Hayes because I love Isaac Hayes.
I'm too old for this crap.
It's like, come on, go full Danny Glover on this shit, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
We're not too old for this shit. Actually.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I know you are. But, so, I think we're all glad that we watch that. Are you all glad that you watched this instead of watching the full movie?
Yeah.
I gotta see what the actual. So the runtime was 89 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about to look that up too.
Yeah, but I remembered he posted it. 89 minutes. That is a lot longer than I would have expected. I mean, that's not even an hour and a half. I would have expected like an hour tops.
I was thinking it was a really short movie.
Oh, by comparison, 89 minutes is a very short movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just under an hour and a half. But that's still...
And movies now are like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Uncle Sam movie. Written by Larry Cohen and directed by William Lustig. Had a budget of $2 million. $2
million? Wow.
Yeah. So, all right.
Okay, all right. I take this back.
They rank it as a horror comedy. And I'm like,
good.
That's not... there's not as much comedy in it as there should be, I feel.
I take it back. They weren't really doing anything new because Maniac Cop. It's
effectively the same thing.
It's the same thing, but
minus the American exceptionalism. Instead, it's the cop pride thing.
Mm-hmm. Although they did do one thing very right in that movie. Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
They actually had Bruce Campbell.
Bruce frickin' Campbell.
Yep.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this.
Bruce Campbell, we're gonna be best friends.
Oh, he's doing it now. Okay, we should
Thank you
we should
all
go
very
before
much
that
for
continues.
tuning in, and until next time, signing off. I'm Nate.
I'm Ben.
I'm Kara.
I'm Nick.
And we will see you later, everyone. Peace out.